Shall I start?
Sir, start change.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. I welcome all the students, teachers, and principals to today's webinar. Actually, today in the one of the major newspaper, Andhra Jyoti, covered about our webinar series very well, and it seems to be ours is the first webinar program to run across the state. And today I take the privilege to invite Mr. A. Vasu, PGT Physics, TSMS Junior College, Daulatabad. He is having vast experience in teaching physics for intermediate students and other competitive exams also. He worked in various corporate colleges and other institutes for about 25 years. He is serving the model school students for the last 7 years. Today he will take a lesson on introduction to waves. This is about 1 hour session, and I request all the students to note the important points and show keen interest on the subject. The sessions will continue after this also. Thank you. Mr. Vasu, you can start, please. Okay, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, all, and good morning, dear children. This
Sir,
is
sir, my video on the.
A. Vasu, working as PGT Physics, TSMS Junior College, Daulatabad Mandal and Siddipeta District. First, I would like to thank Sri Additional Director Sri Satyanarayana Reddy Garu, and I also thank all the principals and organizing team of this webinar session. And it is my privilege to start the second year physics with waves. First, let me introduce what concepts, what content we are going to discuss under this chapter. So briefly, here in second year physics, the first chapter starts with waves. It has its own importance. It carries 8 to 10 marks in IP examination, as well as minimum 2 to 3 bits will be covered in all objective examinations. It is totally conceptually oriented. And of course, dear children, already you might have studied about waves in earlier classes. Here, our idea is we would like to introduce the waves from the minimum basic level. Here, during this chapter, in this chapter at this level, we are going to cover these major subtopics like introduction, we'll start. Then we'll go for classification of waves, how the waves are classified, and what is a wave, and the differences between the main kind of waves like transverse waves and longitudinal waves we'll discuss. And we also derive the relation for displacement for a progressive waves, that is displacement relation in a progressive wave, and the characteristics of a wave like properties what I studied in aerial classes, like properties like amplitude, frequency, wavelength, time period, etc. And then we shall proceed to speed of waves, like speed of sound waves in air, speed of transverse waves. Then in the second section, of course, the principle of superposition of waves, which is based on reflection of waves. And one of the application of principle of superposition of waves, that is standing waves, we shall discuss. Then not only standing waves, and how these standing waves are going to be formed on stretched string and in organ pipes. Then finally, we shall discuss a few applications of sound like beats and Doppler effect. And particularly in this webinar session, we will learn about introduction. I'll introduce what is the wave, what is the description of the wave, and what is its importance and significance of the wave. Then types of waves in detail, like mechanical waves, non-mechanical waves, progressive waves, transverse waves, longitudinal waves. And finally, we differentiate transverse and longitudinal waves under the heading of differences between transverse and longitudinal waves. Now, let me introduce waves. What is a wave? Before going to the systematic approach of wave, we have studied in our daily life, we come across many types of waves like sound waves, light waves, radio waves used in communication. Now I am able to reach you people because of these radio waves which are used in this communication process, and also the surface waves. Now seen when a small stone is dropped on surface of water, then a sort of disturbance will be produced. Such waves are called surface waves. Next, the basic idea of waves. We know this entire universe is filled with energy, and this energy present at one place can be transported to the any other place. That is, transportation of energy from one place to another place takes place by two ways or two mechanisms. One is with actual transport of matter. That is, really the material particles transfers from one point, that is source, to the destiny, right? The other mechanism is without actual transport of matter. In this mechanism, in this phenomenon, the material particles does not transport from one point to another point, but only energy can be transported. Here, this phenomenon, actually this phenomenon of transportation of energy without actual transport of matter, phenomenon of transportation of energy without actual transport of matter, it is involving with what we call a wave process. This phenomenon is involving with wave process. Now let me clear what is during the actual transport of matter. For example, when bullet is fired from a gun, look at this image. When bullet is fired from a gun, the bullet really moves from the gun to the target or destination. While moving, what happens? The bullet carries some kinetic energy. So here, material or the matter in the form of bullet transfers from source to the destination, that is source to the target. Here, this is what the phenomenon of actual energy, transportation of energy with actual transport of matter. But when it comes to the phenomenon of transportation of energy without actual transport of matter, like propagation of sound you can take, or surface waves. Look at this image. When a small stone or pebble or even any stone is dropped on the surface of water, even a droplet is shown here, then what happens? A sort of disturbance will be produced. This disturbance produced at one point advances by forming concentric circles. These circles in turn called ripples, and they just in the form of ripples, those ripples in turn called waves. So here only energy can be transported from the point of disturbance to the right, only from point of disturbance to far apart, but original molecules, particles of the medium, they never transports. This can be verified. Let's take a small piece of cork or a small paper boat. If you keep it on the surface of water, you observe that this paper boat or small piece of cork moves up and down without any advancement. That is, during this formation of surface waves, only energy can be transported, but not material particles. When it comes to the another example like propagation of sound, now I am speaking and you are able to hear this sound. During this speech, my vocal cord is vibrating. Similarly, in case of any sound production, let's take vibrating tuning fork or the sound produced by loudspeaker. In all these cases, the air molecules, the medium present between the source and you or me and you just vibrates. They move forward and backward, and due to this oscillatory motion, the energy transfers takes place, right? But not without actual transport of matter. So what I mean to say, the phenomenon of transportation of energy without actual transport of matter is involving with wave motion. Now, let me define very clearly what is a wave. Now, what you observed in previous examples, when a stone is dropped on surface of water, or when you take a vibrating tuning fork, or when I'll speak, in all these cases, some sort of disturbance is produced due to vibratory motion, due to vibratory or oscillatory motion. What is vibratory motion, children? What I have studied in earlier classes, the to and fro motion, or forward and backward motion. This sort of disturbance transports energy as well as momentum also from one point to another point without actual transfer of matter. That is, a wave is a disturbance that propagates in space and transports energy and momentum from one point to another point without actual transfer of matter. Children, you can see this definition of wave here. Dear children, all of you keep your mobile phones in horizontal mode so that whatever images, whatever animations I'm going to show and whatever content I'm going to display here can be seen very clearly, right? So a wave is a disturbance that propagates in space and transports both energy and momentum, mainly energy, from one point to another point without actual transfer of matter. Now, how it is happening? Due to repeated periodic motion of particles. So the particles are vibrating, they move forward and gives out their energy and will come back. So this to and fro motion of particles takes place so that the energy transfers without actual transfer of matter. Now, already you recalled few examples for this wave motion, like sound waves and waves producing on string, surface waves. Even these waves producing on string, you might have heard about many musical instruments which are associated, many musical instruments like sitar, guitar, veena, violin. In all these cases, when the strings are pulled or plucked, then they vibrate so that a wave pulse produces, and that's the way how sound can be generated. So this type of waves on string are also examples for wave motion. Next, this classification of waves. How these waves are classified? See, children, the waves can be classified in many ways. One of the basic classification is given based on the way how they are propagating. In how many dimensions the waves are propagating. That is, first classification, though it is not conceptually important, but we shall discuss based on the number of dimensions in which they propagate. Based on the number of dimensions in which they propagate, the waves are of three types. They may be one-dimensional, they may be two-dimensional, they may be three-dimensional. That is one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional. What are one-dimensional waves? For example, waves producing on string. When a string is fixed between two rigid supports, right? And when a string is plucked at point, then a wave pulse produces and propagate along the length of the string. Here, in order to describe this kind of waves, we need only one coordinate. That is, the wave produced along the string propagate only along the length of the string. So as we need only one coordinate, these waves are called one-dimensional. Generally, waves on string are one-dimensional. Now, you will get an idea about what two-dimensional and what are three-dimensional. Suppose surface waves. A sort of disturbance produced on surface of water spreads over the surface of water. So that is on a plane where we need two coordinates. So they are called two-dimensional waves. Next, three-dimensional. The sound produced at a point can propagate in all possible directions. So which are in turn called three-dimensional. See, for here at this level, in intermediate second year, our work is confined to only one-dimensional mechanism, one-dimensional waves. Now, this is one classification based on number of dimensions. But the important classification is given based on the requirement of the medium. See, children, based on, in order to propagate the wave, in order to propagate or transfer the energy in the form of wave, sometimes we need a medium. If the medium, this is what, based on the requirement of the medium. If the medium is required for the propagation of the wave, then such waves are called mechanical waves. So based on the requirement of the medium, the waves are mechanical waves, non-mechanical waves. So waves which requires a medium for their propagation are called mechanical waves. Waves which does not require a material medium for their propagation are called non-mechanical waves. Now in next slide, we shall discuss mechanical waves and non-mechanical waves in detail. Apart from these two categories, in recent years, a third kind of waves are also introduced called matter waves. These are associated with constants of the particles, like constants of elementary particles like electrons, protons, neutrons. Children, you might have studied in chemistry earlier classes, like regarding de Broglie hypothesis and dual nature of matter. Whenever an elementary particle is moving, then it is associated with a wave. Such a wave is called matter wave. A wave associated with matter is called matter wave. See, these waves, though these waves are conceptually abstract compared to mechanical and non-mechanical waves, but they have already found their applications in several devices. Like, in the matter waves associated with electrons are used in electron microscope. Yeah, children, at this level, in this chapter, our work is confined and will restrict to only mechanical waves. We have a separate chapter to discuss non-mechanical waves like electromagnetic waves, and under modern physics, we shall discuss matter waves. Now, I'll proceed to the mechanical waves and the classification of mechanical waves. And for that, once let me give a flow chart showing the classification of waves based on all the methods. Like waves are mainly classified into based on the requirement of the medium. Waves are mechanical waves and non-mechanical waves and matter waves. So here our work is confined to only mechanical waves. Next, these mechanical waves are further classified into progressive waves and stationary waves. So this classification is given based on the transfer of energy. If the energy is transferring from one place to other place, and such waves are called progressive waves. We shall discuss in detail. A progressive wave is one which advances into the medium, into the space, and never returns to its original. So during which energy can be transferred from one place to the other place, that is from source to the destination. In the same chapter, we'll also discuss stationary waves, are also called standing waves. But in next webinar session, again here these progressive waves based on the propagation of vibration of the particles, these stationary waves are, these progressive waves are further classified into longitudinal waves and transverse waves. That is how a wave is propagating. We'll discuss in detail. During the propagation of the wave, the particles of the medium have to vibrate. Depending on the orientation of the vibration of the particles, that is the direction of vibration of the particles, the waves are of two types, longitudinal waves and transverse waves. In transverse waves, the particles vibrate perpendicular to the direction of the wave, whereas in longitudinal waves, the particles vibrates along the direction of the wave. So in this first session, we shall discuss the mechanical waves and one form of mechanical waves, that is progressive waves, and the types of progressive waves like transverse waves and longitudinal waves in detail. These two, non-mechanical waves and matter waves, we shall discuss in another chapter. Stationary waves we shall discuss in another session. Next, a mechanical wave. What is a mechanical wave? As I said, a mechanical wave is a wave which requires a medium for its propagation. That is, a wave which requires a medium for its propagation is called mechanical wave. See, for the propagation of mechanical waves, not only a medium is required, but I mean to say, mechanical waves does not propagate through all types of medium. That medium has to possess two specific properties. One is the inertia, the other is elasticity. So for the propagation of mechanical waves, a medium is required, and the medium has to possess properties like inertia and elasticity. So why inertia? So generally, let me describe about why elasticity. During the propagation of a wave, generally the molecules which are coupled by some elastic forces can only vibrate. Generally, to transfer the energy by means of vibratory or oscillatory motion, the molecules which are disturbed in the first line of molecules or in the first array of molecules which are disturbed, they have to transfer their energy without actual movement, only by means of oscillatory or vibratory motion, because all these molecules are coupled by elastic forces. So if once they are coupled by elastic forces, then only the energy can be transferred. That's why the medium has to possess the property of elasticity and inertia. And not only inertia, we know what is inertia. What is the measure of inertia? Mass. Yes, every massive medium can possess inertia. This is not a big problem. Next, based on this inertia and the parameters related to inertia like density and pressure, and parameters related to elasticity like modulus of elasticity, we describe other parameters like speed and energy of a mechanical waves. Now, the sound waves in air are mechanical waves. So these are the examples for few examples for mechanical waves. The sound waves in air, waves on string, and surface waves. Right? So here I have shown sound produced by loudspeaker, how it is reaching the ear. Next, these are the waves produced on vibrating string. Next, surface waves, ripples. So when a surface of water is slightly disturbed, then what happens? It produces, it forms some concentric circles, which we know already ripples. So there are also forms of mechanical waves. This is the brief idea regarding mechanical waves. Children, let me repeat. What are mechanical waves? Waves which requires a material medium for their propagation are called mechanical waves, and the medium has to possess mainly two properties like inertia and elasticity. Now, let me give a small video showing the propagation of mechanical waves. What is this? A loudspeaker producing the sound. How this loudspeaker is producing the sound? Due to vibration of this diaphragm. Dear children, you try to focus on this vibratory motion. I'll click here, then it starts vibrating. Now in the first, the air molecules are present, or they are randomly oriented. Once the diaphragm of the loudspeaker started vibrating, then what happens? Due to to and fro motion of this diaphragm of the loudspeaker, the molecules present here tries to move in forward direction. Children, if you focus on this, on few molecules like which are shaded with red color beads, these are like particles. If you focus at any one particle, how this particle is moving, is it advancing? No, it is moving forward and backward. Similarly, all other particles. Let us this you can understand by focusing at a single particle. We can focus here. So this is just as soon as the sound produces, then what happens? This is just moving, advancing, and colliding with the other molecule and coming back. This to and fro motion of the particle is called what? Vibratory motion. That's why in wave motion, what I said, this energy transfers due to repeated periodic motion of the particles. What kind of periodic motion it is? Oscillatory motion. Right? Is it clear now? Shall I go to another slide? Children, now we shall discuss briefly what is a non-mechanical wave. Once I'll define and I'll go for the main concept which we are planned to discuss here regarding the classification of mechanical waves like progressive, longitudinal, and transverse waves. What is a non-mechanical waves? A wave which does not require any medium for its propagation is called non-mechanical waves. Generally, all electromagnetic waves like light waves, radio waves, X-rays are non-mechanical waves. These waves does not require any material medium for their propagation. Children, we all know we are receiving the sunlight from the sun. How we are receiving the sunlight? In the form of light waves as well as heat waves, and simply studied in the form of electromagnetic waves. Is the space between the earth and sun is totally filled with atmosphere? No. The earth is surrounded by the atmosphere up to certain height only. Then after completely an empty space or vacuum. Though we are receiving the energy in the form of light waves through the vacuum. This is in the form of a non-mechanical waves. That is, this type of waves does not require any medium for their propagation. So a wave which does not require any medium for its propagation is called a non-mechanical waves. I'll show here. Here you may get a doubt. In previous example, you would have seen the vibration of the particles, but here which will vibrate? Here the variation of electric and magnetic field vectors. So children, you need not worry. We have a separate lesson to describe the non-mechanical waves or electromagnetic waves. We have a separate chapter there we describe. Let me just give a brief idea how non-mechanical waves are comprised of this electric and magnetic field. So here, instead of particles, the fields, which are not any material particles, the fields varies sinusoidally or harmonically due to superposition or interaction of those electric and varying electric and magnetic fields. We get a non-mechanical wave such as an electromagnetic wave. So we shall discuss these non-mechanical waves in a separate chapter. Now let us come back to a type of a mechanical wave. What I said, a progressive wave. What is a progressive? Generally, what I've seen when I'm speaking or when sound is produced at one point, then what happens? It propagates into the space and never returns to its original position, that is, never returns to its origin. Such a wave, that is, a wave that travels from a source into an infinite medium and never returns to the origin, is called a progressive wave or traveling wave. Here we'll find how this wave is propagating. Right? Next, the progressive waves. These progressive waves are also called traveling waves, are classified into two types based on direction of propagation of the particle. These progressive waves are further classified into transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Children, listen carefully. Though we have studied regarding transverse waves and longitudinal waves as well as mechanical waves in earlier classes, but here I would like to give a small clarification regarding this direction of propagation of particle. What does it mean? And direction of propagation of wave. Let me give. While dealing with wave motion, children, we always come across two things. We always consider two things into consideration. One is the direction of propagation of the wave. What is direction of propagation of the wave? The direction along which the disturbance or energy is to be transferred is called direction of propagation of the wave. See, in this image, the wave seems to be advancing in forward direction. That is, it is looking like advancing along x direction. This is what the direction of propagation of the wave. In order to transfer this energy, disturbance, or momentum, the particles of the medium, as I said, particles vibrates or undergoes oscillatory motion. The particles can vibrate either perpendicular or they can vibrate parallel. That is, while vibrating in perpendicular mode, the particle at present at a particular point, I'll show you next slide, how it vibrates, right? It just transfers its energy to the neighboring particle by means of elastic forces. So, how these particles of that medium are vibrating? Whether they are vibrating perpendicular to the direction of the wave or parallel to the direction of the wave. Based on this fact, these progressive waves are classified into transverse and longitudinal waves. Children, the progressive waves are classified into two types based on direction of propagation of the particle. They are transverse waves in which the particles vibrates in perpendicular direction. I'll give the details of transverse waves. Next slide. And if the particles vibrates in parallel direction or along the direction of the wave, then they are called longitudinal waves. Children, are you following? And listen to me very carefully. So this progressive wave, what is a progressive wave? A wave that travels from a source into an infinite medium and never returns to the origin is called a progressive wave or traveling wave. Progressive waves are classified into two types based on direction of propagation of the particle, transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Now I'll move to the transverse waves. What are transverse waves? I said a transverse wave is one in which particles are the constants of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. Transverse means perpendicular or normal to the propagation of the wave. Such a wave is called transverse wave. Look at this image. Once you observe this image, so take an, it's looking like a string, right? One end is free, the other end is also free. Of course, for convenient, I've given a rod-like arrangement to which red color bead. This is like a part. This is a particle for our understanding. How it is moving up and down. Due to this vibratory motion, which is in perpendicular direction, the wave is advancing in forward direction. Once you look at this, all these particles, if you take any particle, it seems to be advancing, but it is not advancing. It is moving just up and down. So this way of propagation of the wave in which the direction of particles are perpendicular is called a transverse wave. Now let me give now let's take when a pulse travels along the length of a stretched string, the elements of the string oscillate up and down. Let me clear the propagation of transverse waves with a small example. If you take a small string of shorter length, if you fix it at one end by fixing a string of a rope of uniform cross section, fix one of its end at a rigid support, and by holding the other end, if you move this string up and down, then what happens? A small wave pulse produces and it advances in forward direction. Sorry. For convenient, if you take a string of some longer length and by fixing at one end, by holding the other end, if you move it up and down, the pulse produced here advances along x direction, whereas the elements of the string, that is a small portion of the string, or we could say the particles of the string, vibrate about y direction. That is, in this propagation, in this example, that is when a wave pulse is produced along the length of a string, the wave is really propagating along x direction, whereas the particles or elements of the string are vibrating about y direction. That is, this is the wave in which the particles of the medium are vibrating perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. Such waves are called transverse waves. Now, how this transverse wave can be described, how it can be, what are the parts and what are the elements related to this transverse waves? Let's see. See, during the propagation, during the production and propagation of the transverse waves, we'll find and crust and troughs. What is a crust? What is a trough? Let me give. See, you would have seen in previous animation, at some region, the particle seems to be vibrating in upward direction. In next region, the particle seems to be vibrating or they're trying to move in downward direction. See, the locus of all these points which are vibrating in particular direction, a particular direction, that is in upward direction, is called a crust, and the locus of all other points which are vibrating in downward direction is called a trough. And this is the shape of the transverse wave. Children, here we can look at a wave in two ways. This is very important. Listen, children. So here, from the earlier classes onwards, you have been confusing what is really a wave, how it is to be described. To describe the wave, we can look at the wave in two ways. One is we can fix the wave at a given instant. We can fix the wave at a given instant. That is, if you take the wave and if you picturize the wave at a given instant at a particular time, we get the shape of the wave. Generally, here in this image, I have shown the shape of the image. This picturization is taken at a particular instant. That is, if you take the locus of displacements of all the vibrating particles at a particular instant, the wave looks like in this shape. This shape consisting of, these are called crust and these are called troughs, and this gives the shape of the wave. This picturization, this is one way of looking or describing the wave. The other way of describing the wave, looking at the wave, is we can fix a particular point. We can take a particular position. We can take a particular particle or a point. If you look at a particular point or a particle, you look at this particular particle which I have taken, which is shown in red color. How this particle is moving up and down. It gives just the vibratory motion. That is, particle is moving up and down, the vibratory or oscillatory motion. See, this is the other way of describing the wave. One is we have to describe the wave by taking it, by picturizing at a given instant so that we get its shape. The other way is we have to look at a particular particle. We have to look at a particular particle. This is like look at a particular space we can take. This is look at a particular instant. If you look at a particular particle, only the particle, the vibratory motion of the particle can be seen. Here, one more thing. By the time the particle completes one full oscillation, one full vibration, that is one upward and downward motion, then the energy, if we could say the disturbance, advances by forming a crust and trough. So, due to upward motion, if the wave advances through up to this point, that is by forming one crust, during downward motion, the wave forms a trough, that is, it advances further through this distance. That is, by the time the particle present at mean position. Now, look at this first image. Look at this particle at origin. By the time the particle completes one full oscillation or vibration, the wave advances through this distance. by forming one crest and trough. This is in turn on in Cat 6 we call it as the wavelength, right? And the small confusion which you have to eliminate from your minds is we always think a wave is like a this is a curved path or a particle moving along a curved path. Children, in no wave, no particle can move along this curved path. It's not the path followed by the particle. This curved path is the locus of all the displacements of the particle at a given instant. Now, what are the examples for transverse waves? I've given already. Waves on string and light waves. Though light waves are transverse in nature, they are non-mechanical and transverse in nature. Children, here itself, light waves which are non-mechanical waves are only transverse in nature. Now, once you think over it, why they're only transverse in nature, right? Next, of course, in this lesson, we shall discuss a kind of transverse waves, mechanical transverse waves. They are waves on string in detail in forthcoming sessions. Next, regarding their propagation, generally transverse waves can propagate only in solids but not in fluids like in liquids and gases. Why they can propagate only in solids? Let me give. Generally in transverse waves, in which the oscillations are perpendicular to the wave motion. The oscillations are perpendicular to the wave motion and causing the change in shape of the medium. You see how the shape of the medium is undergoing a change by forming crest and trough. It was studied in first year elasticity chapter, the mechanical properties of solids. One of the properties, elasticity. Which type of stress is responsible for this change of shape? Yes, shearing stress or tangential stress. As in order as the when the transverse wave is propagating through the medium, as each element of the medium vibrate perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of the wave, so that the medium has to change its shape. And in order to change the shape of the medium, the particles undergoes a shearing stress. And these shearing stress are possible only in solids. It was studied shearing stress is possible only in solids. It was studied shearing stress in first year when a big binding book is taken and when you apply some tangential force by just if you push one by fixing the bottom, if you apply tangential force over its surface, then it can be changed its shape. That is, such type of stress is called shearing stress. Even twisting your skin or twisting a rope is called applying shearing stress, where the shape of the body changes. So this shearing stress is possible only in solids. So already studied. This shearing stress is not possible in fluids. That is the reason you learnt in first year the shearing modulus or the tangential, the modulus, rigidity modulus of the fluids is equals to 0. That's why in order to change the shape of the medium, a shearing stress is required, and the shearing stress is possible only in solids. So transverse waves can propagate only in solids. Is it clear now? So transverse waves are the waves in which the particles vibrate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave, and they propagate by forming alternative crest and trough, and they can propagate only in solids but not in fluids. And the waves producing on string and light waves are examples for transverse waves. Next, let us come to the second type of waves. Second type of progressive waves, longitudinal waves. What is the other possible orientation of vibration of the particles? Parallel. That is, generally in longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium vibrate along the direction of propagation of the wave. That is, a longitudinal wave is one in which the particles of the medium vibrate parallel to the direction of the propagation of the wave. Now, let us see how this longitudinal wave can be propagated with a small example. Let's take a long pipe filled with air, right? And which is provided with a piston at one end, so that the piston can be moved in and out, right, or up and down, so that when a piston is moved up and down or inward and outward, a longitudinal wave will generate. That is, a longitudinal wave, of course, a sound wave can generate in a pipe filled with air by moving the piston up and down. How? See, whenever this piston is moved inward or when it is pushed in downward direction, you'll find, look at this image, you'll find some air molecules are present below this piston. These air molecules will try to move in downward direction so that they'll be packed up or they'll move close to each other, right? So that the region at which they are closely packed or just they are very closely packed or crowded, we could say the particles are air molecules are packed or crowded here due to downward motion of the piston. So at that particular point, the pressure and density increases. Such region is called a compression. And when you try to pull up this piston, that is when piston is moved up, then what happens? The molecules which are the air molecules or the air particles which are compressed or which are closely packed will try to move apart and they'll try to rarefy. They'll try to separate from each other so that pressure and density decreases. And what we learned in even in lower classes, a rarefaction will be formed. So during the propagation of a longitudinal wave, a compression and rarefaction will be formed, just like in transverse wave how a crust and trough will be formed. Here a longitudinal wave can propagate by forming compressions and rarefaction. What is a compression, children? A region where the particles are compressed. What is a rarefaction? A region where the particles are separated or rarefied. I'll show a schematic diagram of longitudinal wave here. That is when sound is propagating. In previous slides when I was seen, I've shown a loudspeaker and the ear here. And when the sound is propagating through air, that is in the form of mechanical longitudinal wave. Sound is propagating in the form of mechanical. It is a kind of mechanical wave. And it is propagating in which form? Longitudinal form. So a compression and a rarefaction. Compression and rarefaction. Compression and rarefaction will be formed. What is a compression, children? What is a compression? The region where the particles are crowded. Rarefaction is the region where the particles are separated. Generally at compression and at compression, the pressure and density will be more, and at rarefaction, the pressure and density will be less. Next. What are the examples for this longitudinal waves, children? Sound waves in air and waves produced in organ pipes. So here, these waves produced in organ pipes also shall discuss in forthcoming sessions in detail. Generally, the musical instruments are mainly three types. Some musical instruments can play music based on the vibrations of the string, and some musical instruments like flute, clarinet, and all, they produce a sound by blowing air into them. So they are called musical instruments which are organ pipe type. Okay, so waves produced in organ pipes are in organ pipe is a pipe filled with air column. Only with an air column or in any gaseous medium is called an organ pipe. And when it is vibrated, a longitudinal wave in the form of a sound produces. Next, children, unlike transverse waves, as transverse, we have seen transverse wave can propagate only through solids. Unlike transverse waves, longitudinal waves can propagate through solids, liquids, and gases. Unlike transverse waves, longitudinal waves do not change the shape of the medium. So during this propagation of the longitudinal wave, alternative compressions and rarefactions will be formed. So what is compression? The region at which the pressure and density are more because the molecules are packed up, and the region at which the particles are rarefied or separated is called rarefaction, where the pressure and density are more. So from this, it's clear that during the propagation of a longitudinal wave, the pressure and density of the medium changes. My dear children, during the propagation of longitudinal wave, the pressure and density of the medium changes. How it is changing? At compressional region, the pressure and density is increasing. At rarefaction region, the pressure and density is decreasing. And apart from this, it is propagating by forming compressions and rarefactions. How compression is forming? By means of a compressional force, compressional stress. Now listen to me. In transverse mode, I recalled sharing stress. Now I'm calling compressional stress. This compressional stress, as you learned in earlier classes, this compressional stress is possible in all the three media: solids, liquids, and gases. As we know, when solids can be compressed, liquids can be compressed, and even gases can be compressed. That's why compressional modulus of velocity related to compressional. What is that? Bulk modulus. Bulk modulus is defined for all the three: solids, liquids, and gases, though longitudinal waves can propagate in all the three media like solids, liquids, and gases. That is, sound can propagate. Sound is a kind of mechanical longitudinal wave which can propagate through solids, liquids, and gases. Is it clear, children? Now, once you recall the points which you are discussed regarding transverse waves and longitudinal waves, so that we will differentiate the longitudinal waves and transverse waves by stating some important points. Children, I have shown here a tabular column showing the differences between transverse and longitudinal waves. Children, once you go through them very carefully, and if required, better you take a screenshot of these differences between transverse and longitudinal waves, because finally, after understanding all the important points, all the facts related to transverse and longitudinal waves, we have to differentiate them and we have to remember these differences. Let me revise once. I didn't mention what does the first column and what does the second column represent. You can understand what is that first column may represent. Is it transverse or longitudinal? Once you read the first point, the definition, the direction of propagation of the wave is perpendicular to the direction of the vibration of the particle. Which kind of wave is it? Transverse wave. So in longitudinal wave, direction of propagation of wave is parallel to the direction of vibration of the particle. So during the formation of transverse wave, a crust and trough will be formed, and a crust and trough make up a complete wave. Wave means a crust and trough. In longitudinal wave, a compression and rarefaction will be formed. Next, this point, of course, already we have studied in lower classes. In next session, I'll introduce what are the characteristics of wave. Now, this you can understand. But of course, you are familiar with what is wavelength, what is amplitude, and all. Am I right? So here, how wavelength is defined for a transverse wave is the distance between any two successive crust and trough. So yeah, look at this image, this crust, peak point of crust to this peak point of crust. So the distance between any two successive crust and trough is called wavelength. Why? Because you can take the starting point of crust and even starting point of trough. What is enclosed between a starting point of crust to the starting point of another crust is a complete wave. That's why it's called wavelength. Similarly, when it comes to longitudinal wave, the distance between any two successive compressions and rarefactions is equals to wavelength of the wave. And regarding the requirement of the medium, transverse wave can propagate only in solids and on the surface of liquid. See, one more thing, one point I would like to clear here. The surface waves are not purely transverse. The waves producing on surface of wave, and that is water waves, are not purely transverse. and they are combination of both transverse and longitudinal. Because of its complex study here at this level, we are not going to deal with surface waves, that is the waves producing on surface of liquids. Let us confine transverse waves means only waves producing on strings, and longitudinal waves can travel through solids, liquids and gases. Is it clear? So here also a compression, and compression to compression is called a wavelength. Children, once you recall, what have we learned during this session? Once you recall point by point, if required, you take, see here, the process of transportation of energy without actual transport of matter is involving with wave motion. A wave is a disturbance that propagates in space, transports energy and momentum from one point to another point. A wave requires a material medium for its propagation is called mechanical wave. A wave which does not require a material medium for its propagation is called non-mechanical wave or electromagnetic wave. Here mechanical waves are also called elastic waves, children. Remember, a wave that travels from a source into infinite medium and never returns to the origin is called progressive wave. No? Transverse waves are waves in which the particles of the medium oscillate perpendicular to the direction of the wave. Longitudinal waves are waves in which the particles of medium oscillate along the direction of the propagation of the wave. Next, children, we are going to deal with both sound waves and waves on strings. So what are sound waves? Sound waves are mechanical longitudinal waves, whereas waves producing on string are mechanical and transverse wave. Combining this mechanical nature and longitudinal nature, so we should say now sound waves are more clearly mechanical longitudinal waves. Or if sound is produced in air, then mechanical progressive longitudinal waves also you could say, and waves on string are mechanical transverse waves. Right? Children, better you take a screenshot of this slide also so that you can revise on later. Right?
Hello.
Hello? Now, based on the content which we learned today in today's webinar session, we prepared an assessment, small assessment. Children, once you go through these questions, and what does a wave represent? What is the idea behind the wave? Once you recall, what is, here I mentioned a question, what is the speed of sound on surface of the moon and why? Children, you think regarding this question and you post your answer in live chat. What is the speed of sound on surface of the moon and why? I'm stressing on sound and what is its speed on the moon? I'll give a hint. Is there any atmosphere on the surface of the moon? You think over it. Is it any medium present on the surface of the moon? Just given a hint. You think over it and post your answer in live chat. And what are transverse waves? And give examples. What are longitudinal waves? Give examples. And distinguish between transverse and longitudinal waves. Children, these are all the things to be practiced from this first session of introduction of waves. Thank you all in my practice. Now, you would have posted any doubts, then I'll go through your doubts. Children, here our idea behind this program is it is not only to meet the needs of intermediate public examination, and we would like to give the detailed subject and detailed content in order to meet the needs of all the objective oriented examinations. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Vasu sir. Your explanation is very good. The viewership is also very good.
Okay.
Dear students, we have dealt with introduction of waves and classification and kinds of waves like mechanical waves, progressive waves, and as sir told, they are divided into transverse and longitudinal waves. So sir has given a lot of information regarding today waves today. So there are one or two doubts from the students. Sir, please clarify them. One student is asking to explain once again regarding the dimensional waves, sir. If you can once again give a brief information regarding the dimensional waves, we can close the program.
Okay, I'll give. See, dimensions means generally when a wave, a disturbance is produced, the disturbance or the energy, what is to be transferred, can propagate along a single direction. That is along, so let us take along the x-axis. As I mentioned, if you take a string of any musical instrument or a string fixed between two rigid supports. See, if the wave pulse, if you pull it up, then the wave produces, it propagates only along the string. So generally, the string, whatever string we consider, must be a thin and uniform cross section. Here generally we take only the displacement of the wave along the length of the string. That is, what is its displacement after a particular time. So we could mention it's 5 centimeter, x is equal to 5 centimeter. So numerically I'm giving x is equal to 10 centimeter. So a single dimension, single coordinate is enough. So the wave is propagating along, it's like a linear. So it's one dimensionally. So it is called a one dimensional wave. Suppose if you take surface waves, they are spreading. So we need two dimensions. So at a particular instant of time, if you want to describe, definitely we need how far it has moved along x-axis and how far it has moved along y-axis from the origin. If I take the disturbance like origin, somewhere you take a point on the ripple, how that a point on the ripple is to be described with two coordinates. Am I right? Two coordinates, x and y, you could say. So as two coordinates are required, such a wave is called two-dimensional wave. It is actually out of scope for our study. At intermediate level, our work is confined to only one dimension. Little bit complicated, two-dimensional. And when it comes to three-dimensional, now I'm speaking, you are able to hear the sound, not only standing in front of me, you can hear the sound even left of me, right of me, behind me, even top side, bottom side. It means the sound produced at a point can propagate in all possible directions. If you take any point in a space, these are called generally space waves. So we need to describe a point in a space. Probably this doubt may be a BPC student, I think, I hope. So MPC children can understand what is one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional. See, even I'm keeping the BPC students on in our mind. Now listen, children, space, how many coordinates are required? 3 coordinates. That's why such space waves are the waves produced in a space are called three-dimensional waves, and it is more complicated. So at a time we have to describe the x displacement along x direction, y direction, as well as z direction. So it will become more complicated. But children, listen to me here at this level, at +2 level, our work is confined to only one-dimensional waves. Is it okay?
Okay,
Vasu sir,
Madam?
Vasu sir, like one student, Gattu Srinivas, has answered your question that there is no sound heard on moon. So it implies that students are carefully listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a correct answer?
There is no sound produced on moon.
Okay, sound is not present. I don't know why I mentioned. The reason is important here.
They did not give reason, but they have said that there is no sound produced.
Even they can give the numerical value of speed of sound also.
Maybe they will comment later.
Yeah, that's what is required for our objective orientation. Why sound does not produce? It's okay. Why? Because of what kind of waves? Once if they think a little bit inner, what kind of wave is a sound? For that, what is required and what is present, what is absent on the surface of the moon, so that they'll get the clear idea.
One student has written there is no medium,
Yes,
so there is
there
no
is no
sound
medium.
produced.
Yeah, there is no medium, so no sound. Still, I need some more. So what? If there is no medium, sound cannot propagate. Why sound cannot propagate? Because it is a kind of, I'm leaving to children, it is a kind of dash. It is a kind of, as
There
it
is
is
no
sound,
atmosphere. Gattu Srinivas once again replied.
yeah, it is no atmosphere, no medium, so sound cannot propagate. But why? Because sound is a form of, so as is it
And
which kind?
Sandhya Rani has replied there are no waves because there is no waves.
Okay.
So they are following the instruction,
Okay,
whatever is given.
let them think over.
Just click to next class. Anyhow, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. Then I'll ask again. Okay. The answers given are not complete, I would say. Sound does not propagate on the surface of the moon. As there is no atmosphere, there is no medium. Why? Medium is required for the propagation of the wave. If you think in other way, laterally, you can able to answer.
Thank you, Vasu Garu. Even though I am also a BPC student, I am also able to understand your waves lesson.
Thank you, sir.
Now I have to think about once again. I have to go to my intermediate level.
Okay.
Really excellent. I expect that students are receiving well. In the next class, we will explore it further. Thank you for your wonderful explanation. Dear students, please go through the content once again. The content is available on YouTube channel of Telangana Model Schools. 24 hours. You can view it again. And you can, if you have any doubts, you can once again go through it. Tomorrow also sir will be with us, and sir will be with us for so many days in the future also. So thank you, sir. Now I request all the students that please join after 5 minutes for another session of mathematics class, which we ended on Friday. It will commence after 5 minutes. Thank you all the participants. Don't go away. Join back after 5 minutes.